What if I told you that this Stream Deck is currently connected to my computer but completely wirelessly? This may be the first ever self-contained Stream Deck. Let's go see how I made it. For this project, I needed a Stream Deck Mark II, a USB battery bank, a Raspberry Pi Zero, a USB Pi hat, and a micro SD card. To start, I kind of figured out how I wanted the general layout of the components to go. I went for sort of a Game Boy Advance layout. Then I took my measurements to Fusion 360, where I made a bunch of test fit prints and prototypes. After perfecting the layout, I started on getting the hardware ready. To try to save a little space, I soldered a USB cable directly to the Raspberry Pi to provide power. Then one of the last assembly steps was to push the brass M3 heatset inserts into the cover. This top panel not only covers the Raspberry Pi, but also holds the Stream Deck Mark II into place. The battery just fits perfectly on the bottom with everything stacked on top. Now that we have the hardware set up, time to turn to software. To start, we need to insert the SD card into our computer, and then use the Raspberry Pi Imager to install Raspberry Pi OS Lite. Because this Pi is only being used as a USB server, we don't need a bunch of user environments slowing us down. You also need to set up your Pi's name, Wi-Fi info, and username and password here. After install, insert the SD card into the Raspberry Pi and power it up. Now the Pi Zero isn't very fast, so give it a bit of time for the first boot. Now the next step requires SSHing into the Pi. I'm on a Mac here, so I can just use Terminal, but if you're on a PC, you can do the same with PuTTY. So after typing SSH pi at streamdeck.local and typing yes to connect, we now have our command line on our Raspberry Pi. Luckily, Virtual Here made this super easy setup with just one line. After it's finished, go ahead and reboot the Pi. On our computer, download and launch the Virtual Here client. It automatically finds any USB servers on your network. Go ahead and click the one that shows up. Then on the new window, you should see your Raspberry Pi, the USB hub, and then the Stream Deck Mark II. Double click on the Stream Deck Mark II and you're connected. You can now use the Stream Deck software to set up and configure everything like it was connected directly to your computer. This whole project can be done without the 3D printed case I made. However, if you want it, the project files will be available soon.